His Excellency President of South African Republic, Cyril Ramaphosa, Your Excellency and members of the Parliament and National Council of Province, former Presidents Ndate Mbeki, Ndate Motlanthe, Mayor Gracia Machel, le botlhe ba ba teng mo ntlong. A person that departs from this earth never truly lives, for they are still alive in our hearts and mind. Through us, they live on. Uncle Billy will never be forgotten. Uncle Billy left South Africa while some of us were still very young to understand the situation of their time. We were told that we do have Uncle around, even though he was not around. And we accepted the explanation. Coming back from exile was a blessing for the family, for he immediately took his rightful position of becoming our father and uncle. We, the Modises, we would like to thank God for on his return from exile, all his brothers and sisters were still alive. He immediately encouraged us to value the importance of being a family. He became a unifier of the family by encouraging us to always have family gatherings. Uncle taught us that listening and respect is very important in the family. He was calm and always ready to assist where necessary, and for that we would like to say that we will really miss him. Mega Sichwana ki rata gore ha le rata go bona lerole dust. O tse Uncle Billy, o tse Uncle Obiditse, o tse Uncle George Gautimi, o tse Dora, o tse Lebogang e leng o mogolo mo go bone. O ba tse wa beka fa tlase ga setlhare. Morago ga metsotso le lesome boela ko ba sileng teng. A le batla itse ga le rata go itse go diragetseng le tla le mpotsa ga ke fetsa fa. The Collen Shorter Dictionary definition of transformation is interesting. It says it is a change or alteration, especially a radical one. Mo mangwane, Uncle Billy is no more around and there is going to be a radical change in your life. You are used to having him around and he will not be there. Mangwane, nothing will change that. Be strong and pray very hard. Ask God to help you as you go through this tough time. Mangwane, thank you very much for having been part of Uncle Billy's life. It was not easy, but we believe that your decision was a blessed one, for you both managed to build a solid family. By the grace of God, you managed to be back home and become a really part of the family in our own country. Borabokwe, rata le lebo khathata ka ngwetsi ya rona e le Mangwane. Uncle Billy ke Motswana. Rona ba ngwato, rata go leboga tsotlhe tseo le di diretseng mmogo le Rangwane. Me ke tla rata bangwato botlhe ba ba mo ntlong ba eme ka dinao. Bangwato botlhe emang ka dinao. Skala itshaba. Bangwato a go diragetse se jaaka se. Re mo go bone. Kwa seruwe kwa phalatswe. Ra buijane le masamo ba itsiwi. Ka ba bokile dikgosi tsa ba phuti. Ba bokile banna bo khama le bo khamane. Ba bokile banna bo tshikedi. Maleta motse. Ba boka ga se bolain ntwa ya go latlha. Bao ke ba ga Mmangwato. Ba go biletsa sekgwamantwa. Ka ba kile ba biletsa sekgwamantwa. O rile ka se boi ngwana wa ga khama. E rile bosa a ba ibiletsa. Ke motho wa ga khama e sileng letsholo Mongwato o montsho o pele tshweu. Go bala ka kagišo ga ngwana. Ke a leboga.
program directors, Honorable President of this great republic, President Ramaphosa, former President Thabo Mbeki, former President Motlanthe, Sis Zanele, Premier of the Gauteng Province, Mr. David Makhura, the Vice President of Namibia, members of the clergy, Antioli, Tandiwe, and the whole Modise and Maqhubela clans. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, I humbly stand in front of you representing the aforementioned Modise and Maqhubela families. Some may wonder who this Themba Maqhubela is representing Uncle Billy's family. I'm the fifth eldest grandchild on the Freda Bokwe and ZK Matthews side of the family. Therefore, I shouldn't be here. However, I was given this awesome responsibility because Uncle Billy was an educator, and I am an educator. Even then, the chief educator of the family is our cousin, Honorable Minister Naledi Pandor. So I followed my mother, Uncle Billy, Minister Pandor, and of course, before then, our grandparents in this profession of teaching. But it is the journey I traveled in exile with Uncle Billy and Yuli, Buntle, Tsepo, and Tandi that perhaps may shed some light on why I was given this singular honor. I will start with an arithmetic lesson. I think that is in order in describing Uncle Billy. We're all taught the basic operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Before the advent of calculators, we loved doing mental arithmetic. Freedom is about addition rather than subtraction. Uncle Billy amplified this sense of our freedom by being a struggle multiplier. One was never divisive. He did this not only in the Nordic countries, but he did so all over the world. What made him an extraordinary man was that as he performed the operation of being a struggle multiplier, he adhered to the principle advanced by Goffey and Jones in their book. Their book is titled, "Why Should Anyone Be Led by You?" In it they write, and I quote, "Leadership is not something you do to other people. It is something you do with others." End quote. That perhaps more than any reason is why this son of Pamangwato, like his professor, our grandpa ZK Matthews, is getting this extraordinary send-off by these amazing leaders and patriots of our people. So to the President and the people of South Africa, the Modise, Bokwe, Matthews, Maqhubela families say, "Re a leboga." A lot has been said and a lot written regarding Uncle Billy's role in the Nordic countries and as chief of protocol. On a few occasions, I had the privilege of occupying a front row seat where I observed this magic in several countries. In the interest of time, I'll just mention two. In Zambia, Uncle Billy would insist on picking me up from the airport and not rely on Oshkosh or Comrade Shooter to clear me at the airport. Once on our way to school in Nigeria, where Sis Zanele, to whom I owe my education, had arranged, Sis Zanele Mbeki, to you Sis Zanele, I apologize, had arranged for us to finish high school and get university credentials. So Uncle Billy picked me up along with the late Duke Machobane and Modise and Maqhubela. We were entertained to delicious cooking by Antioli and Denzi, non-stop talking from Buntle, where Tsepo would only put in a word by saying, "Sluta Buntle, sluta." Sluta is stop or stop it in Swedish. Uncle Billy would emphasize the pillars of a successful education by stressing scholarship, service, non-racialism, non-sexism, and globalism. At the time, we were all adherents to only one thing, the Black consciousness philosophy. And in his persuasive way, he made us realize that the ANC and BCM were not mutually exclusive. He was the first person to ever demonstrate to us what I later read as a constitution of a school where I taught. It goes like this: goodness without knowledge is feeble, and knowledge without goodness is dangerous. Yet, goodness and knowledge combined form the surest foundation for a life of meaning and usefulness to humankind. When I actually read this in print, I smiled and remembered Uncle Billy, a man who never judged those young Black consciousness young people of 1976. Rather, he loved us, engaged us, and even took us to live wrestling matches in Lusaka. Uncle Billy taught us to love more and judge less. So when I was asked which Ompi I would choose when Vuyola Petini and I got married in exile in Gaborone, I asked Uncle Billy, surely a man who had hitchhiked across Africa could drive from Lusaka to Gaborone to represent the Matthew side of the family. He and Antioli, much to Buntle's protestations, drove together. And Gambu Mtobi Makiwane drove from Umtata to represent the Maqhubela side. It was there when I had a first glimpse that Uncle Billy was born for protocol. When the host of the wedding, our dear Aunt Tsitsi, and the social functions director, along with Bra George Pashle, asked Bra Jonas Kwanga to play music while we waited for Granny Matthews. When the grand madame of the event, that was Granny, entered wearing a gown that, after my bride's outfit, I think I can say this, was the second best in the room, Uncle Billy jiggled his glasses up and down ever so slightly. Vuyola caught on that he was sending us a signal to acknowledge Granny. So my sophisticated bride said, let us stand up for Granny. We did. and all 500 plus guests stood up in unison. Like the regal she was, Granny inspected the floor, the ambience, the outfits, looked everyone up and down, and nodded approvingly before proceeding to sit down. It was time to party. In typical Uncle Billy fashion, he gave us the AOK sign. So I've been to places such as the White House, and no one did protocol better than Granny. And yes, I heard Uncle Billy did protocol very well, but he picked quite a bit of it from Granny because he used to live with Granny. While Uncle Billy's political savvy matured under the tutelage of his professor and fellow Mwatu, our grandfather, Professor Z.K. Matthews, his unmatched etiquette, style, and gift for protocol was nurtured by our beloved grandmother. I am convinced that Buntle, Tsepo, Uncle Billy, Granny, Grandpa, and many others are watching this send-off. And I think they are pleased because, first of all, we are free. And that is not to be taken for granted. And secondly, we are honoring our own dear Uncle Billy. In a book published in 1925 by the great S.E.K. Mqhayi, a chapter chronicles the funeral of Antioli's grandfather and our great-grandfather, the great Reverend John Knox Bokwe. Mqhayi writes, and I quote, "Nasoke eso sikhuni ebephethe sona oka Bokwe, isikhuni sokukhanyisela izwe lakowabo eze wasishiyela sona." End quote. For those who need a translation, Mqhayi said, Reverend John Knox Bokwe built a sturdy platform on which we stand together as a people. As a teacher, I'm being poetic now, so I can use my license. The logs used were lit and illuminated the nation and the way forward for all of us. This beloved son of the Modises, this beautiful man, yes, a man can be beautiful by his deeds as well as handsome in his looks and outfits. This beautiful man, who was complimented by more than just the threads that were immaculate, is gone. But this beautiful man helped build this young democracy, this platform. U-Uncle Billy usishiyele isikhuni. Isikhuni sikamfundisi uJohn Knox Bokwe. Esasibanjwe ngomfundisi PJ Mzimba, Makhiwane Sihlale nabanye. So, as we bid him farewell, we should ask ourselves, who will hold on to the log, or carry the torch, if you will, with which Uncle Billy leaves us? Who will continue the legacy of this legend? Let us resolve to not let his light dim. The memory of his deeds should not fade, and let his steadfast love for country and family never waver. In other words, let us all channel our inner Uncle Billy. In true Uncle Billy fashion, let us teach our children and their descendants the pillars of humility, scholarship, service, and globalism that undergird his greatness. I'm just going to quote a little bit of Latin here. In our school, we say, "Cui servere est regnare," which means to lead is to rule. To serve is to rule. And to the current leaders here, we say to you, Kuisewere es regnare, because Uncle Billy has done his part. Robalaka Kakhisho, Uncle Billy, Lalango Tolo, Uncle Billy, rest in peace, Uncle Billy. I thank you.